Hi there, my name's Joe. Welcome back to another video on the Fantasy Tour de France game. What a stage, man. What a great way to start off the Tour de France. We've had some really interesting stages. It was really nice to see the Breakaway win twice. Vauquelin really put in a great performance today. I have a couple takeaways I want to go through regarding the stage today and outlook for tomorrow. But before we do, there's something we got to talk about. Let's look at the data. All right. So this new category that they created in 2024 for the fantasy game, it's the breakaway points category. And it's a new rule that was just introduced this year where a rider gets 1 point for every kilometer they've spent in the front breakaway of the race. This is broken. I think it's a nice idea to offer points to breakaway riders and incentivize people to pick up some of those breakaway specialists, incentivize people to take risks on some lower cost riders that are going to pay off potentially for them. But the new rule puts way too much of an emphasis on this. So just to show you what I'm talking about, for today's stage, there were 11 riders that were awarded breakaway points. And for those 11 riders, 1,794 points were dished out just to those 11 riders, not even the top 11 finishers on the stage. Now, for the points awarded for the top 100 riders, based on their finish on the stage, you know, what actually matters, who won the stage, who came in second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way down to 100, there were only 1,529 points. This is, in my opinion, unbalanced. I know today the breakaway won, but still, this is not reasonable. This is going to really change the dynamics of the fantasy league, and I think going to make the game much more about luck and guessing on the right cheap guys who end up doing well in breakaways. They don't even need to win the stage. For example, someone like Jagat didn't even finish in the top 10, and he still scored 222 points on the stage. This is, in my opinion, just really out of hand. And keep in mind, these 1,794 points that are awarded to these 11 breakaway riders, it doesn't include the points they also earned on the stages. So it's not like we're just simply bringing the breakaway riders up to par with the people who actually win the stage. In this case, it far surpasses it. So I'm really not sold on this rule. I think it's a little bit broken. I don't think that they're likely to make a hot fix to this rule since it was published ahead of everyone making their team picks. But I think this is going to be a very weird year for the fantasy league, and I expect this rule to be changed for the next year. All right, other takeaways I've got. Abrahamson continues to do outstanding. He was the top point scorer today, came in second on the stage, was in the breakaway all day, holds the polka dot jersey and the green jersey. I'm really happy with his performance. I'm happy to say that I predicted that he'd be doing well. Not so happy to say that I still haven't had the guts to pick him up and put him on my team. So we'll see how long that lasts. I do actually think that tomorrow might be a little bit of a break for him. There's not a whole lot of mountain points on offer, and I expect he'll probably lose the green jersey. So I don't know if we'll see him in the break. If he's really committed to holding the green jersey, we could see him go for the break tomorrow. The big question a lot of people are asking is, should you pick him up? At the minute, I'm saying no. I still want to see how the sprinters shake out tomorrow and how the climbers' legs shake out on stage 4 before I restructure my team. But if you need to make a trade anyways, if you have someone that's really not doing well and you want to trade him out, he's a pretty safe pickup right now. Another takeaway, unsurprisingly, Tadej Pogacar is the best of the rest. He's the highest point scorer of the GC riders. Let me just look at over the course of both days. Tadej scored 248 points over 2 days. Note that this is only 12th highest points, and he's tied for 12th. So the 12 other people ahead of him, they're all breakaway riders. And yes, the breakaway did win 2 stages in a row, but I think it just goes to show you just how valuable these breakaway points are. Even if we took away the stage points that these breakaway riders earned, the points they'd get just from riding in the front of the race are still making them the most valuable pickups. And you'll notice they're all low-cost riders or relatively low-cost riders because they're in the breakaway. And the big GC guys, the big sprinters, they don't make it to the breakaway. So this is what I'm talking about. It's a pretty wild time to be in the fantasy league right now. A couple takeaways from the stage. If we look at the results, I think Jonas looked really good today. Vingegaard, I think the odds have really shifted in his favor. The bookies are thinking so, at least. After his performance today, he was very quick to snap to Pog's wheel when he made an attack, and Pogacar couldn't drop him. I also think that Remco looked to be on pretty good form. I know there was a report that he was dropping off the back. I didn't quite see it on camera, but then he made it all the way back, pulling Carapaz with him. Apparently, Carapaz didn't pull at all. And he actually finished the stage ahead of Pog and Jonas. So both of those guys looking really good. Some notable time losses today. Buitrago, who finished the stage in 35th place, over a minute behind the GC group. Also, Derek G. I have mixed opinions about this. I think G is really strong right now. He lost a minute and a half to the GC group, but potentially this is intentional and he's going to be hunting stages. We'll see. Louis Meintjes, he's, over 2.5 minutes back. That's not boding well for his GC ambitions. Interestingly, Geraint Thomas is a couple minutes back as well in 54th place today. So this really answers the question of, is he going for his own result or is he serving as a domestique? I think he told the world that he's a domestique today. So back to the good old days for Geraint Thomas. I was also interested to see Tobias Johannesson. He finished in 73rd on the stage, 11 minutes back, so 9 minutes back from the GC guys. This was surprising to me, and also just kind of goes to show you who on that team has legs. It's the other Norwegian guy, not Johannesson. Gaudu had another bad day. He finished 103rd, losing a lot of time. He's 18 minutes back, so he's got to be sick. I don't think he really needs to be losing this much time just to get in the breakaway. We'll see, though. I don't know. It was only a couple weeks ago that he was quoted in the media as saying, I have no intention of sitting up and losing time. But that's exactly what he's doing, so maybe he's suffering a lot. There were no new withdrawals today. Everyone finished the stage, which is good. If we look at the global leaders of the fantasy league, you can see that people who have taken risks on breakaway riders are still doing well. So the leader, their team for stage 2 looked like this. They had Pog, Evenepoel, Van Aert. Interestingly, they had Van Aert as their stage win bonus, even though he didn't really score any points today. So they could have had a lot more if they had picked differently. Pedersen, Pidcock, Oliveira, who scored a lot of points today, Van den Broek, who scored a lot of points yesterday, and Abrahamsen, who scored a lot of points on both days. So these three guys are really carrying this team and allowing this person to currently lead the global league. For tomorrow, if we look at the profile, it's a pretty flat stage. It's going to be the first opportunity for the sprinters, and I really don't see a breakaway making it tomorrow. There may be some guys, possibly Abrahamsen, that are in the break trying to just get points in the intermediate sprint. But the big guys are the favorites for the stage. Philipsen, I think, is the outright favorite. Pedersen, De Lee, and Groenewegen, I think, are the next most likely to win. But for the fantasy league, it might be wise to pick up someone like Coquard, Marin Vandenberg, Danny Van Poppel, or other low-cost sprinters if you need to make a trade on your team anyways. These are the stages where they're going to be earning their cost. It'll be interesting to see if Wout van Aert mixes it up in the Pure Bunch sprint tomorrow. I'm not sure if he will. We'll see. It's also the first chance tomorrow for Cavendish to win his 35th stage. I think everyone would love to see that. The YouTuber cycling guy, whose predictions tend to be pretty accurate, noted that tomorrow's not just the first chance for Cavendish, but possibly the last chance for him if he doesn't make the time cut on stage 4. He wasn't looking super great yesterday. I think he'll be fine, but it's something to consider. All right, with that, I'll see you tomorrow.